Hello, Steffi here. It's time to talk. Real people, real lives. Today's episode is a topic. It involves lots of people. And not just adults, also children. So what is it? 50,000 people saying support of alcohol and drug use. And this is only a third of the estimated people in New Zealand. It cost the government $1.8 billion for the harm it happened through drug use. Those numbers are absolutely stunning and far too high. New Zealand is one of the highest drug users in the world. So, what are you on? Are you one of those? And not knowing what to do, how to get out of it? It's not easy. It's easy for us, because I have never experienced that. Easy for me to say, but for someone who is really sitting in this boat and how to get out of there, not easy. So our guest today, he experienced drug use from an early age on. And he's going to share his story with us. Sick.
Cool.
Nice to see you. I am really excited because I know the story, but I don't know all the details.
Yeah.
So when did it start?
So it was just normalised from, my mum was using when I was in the womb, and I came out and it just didn't stop, didn't alter, it didn't change. It was just a normal part of life.
So it actually says when the mum pregnant and using drugs, there's the babies already used it inside and they actually develop a drug addiction later on in life.
Born with a drug addiction, yeah.
Wow. So when did you experience your own use of drugs?
So in relation to my family, it was quite late on in life, so I was 20 when I first started using drugs.
Even you were exposed the entire time?
Yep.
How did you do it? Honestly, how did you do this?
I was just focused. I was focused on my sports and my academics because I wanted to graduate school. I wanted to be the only person in my generation to graduate, and I did.
This is awesome. Oh, congratulations. This is good news. This is good news.
Yeah, very good news.
I guess you had lots of friends that were exposed and they were using the drugs.
Oh, yes.
So how could you say no? There was something in you?
Just determination. 100% determination. And just not wanting to fall into the rut of being stuck in typical life. It was normalised at that stage. Like I said, it was just a part of life. Like, they'd wake up, they'd have a couple spots of weed off the oven, and then they go about their day. It was just how it was.
But it's amazing because you were exposed all the time. So you had easy access. You could use it at any time.
Oh yeah, I could have walked into my mum's bedroom and just got a nug off the bedside table and do what you do with it.
This is amazing. So you're 20. So you finished school. Everything was you could do. So what happened after? So you finished school. So what did you get a job? Or?
Yeah, I went straight into the Navy actually.
Oh.
Yep, straight into the Navy. Trained as a combat specialist, and then I started going a little bit downhill mentally because I was that's the way they train you. They break you down to rebuild you. It's a stock standard thing, but I didn't want to be broken down. I felt like I was good enough as is.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a little bit of a non-conformist attitude.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that, so yeah.
And this attitude, did it actually develop during the time training, or did you have this already when you were?
Oh no,
child?
I was born with that. I just didn't want to be a part of the flock. I wanted to be my own person.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I stuck to my guns.
So did you experience it already at school? That you were said, no, I'm not doing this, I did it my way, or?
I actually sent myself off to a boarding school in Auckland to get away from my family. Yeah, I filled out the paperwork myself and gave myself a decent shot at life.
How long have you been there?
I was there for 9 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, all my.
So
all
and can I ask, at boarding school, normally there shouldn't be any drugs or anything?
Oh, and there wasn't.
Really, it was really strict.
Yeah, but you know, when you come home in the holidays, you're still going back to the same old family lifestyle, eh?
Yeah.
So it was still the same every
I
time.
think it's amazing, honestly. This you could resist and not falling in the same hole.
Mm.
This is amazing. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
So which way did they go?
So a couple of my siblings were using various narcotics and drugs from, 13, 14 onwards, probably still to this day. I don't know. I don't really keep in contact with them anymore. I just look after my own little family unit and,
Awesome.
and do myself.
Yeah, you're strong enough to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's honestly, this is so interesting, especially for me. Coming from overseas, and it's all clean, tidy where I was born up. But no, I think it's fascinating. So when you were 20, okay, so you went to boarding school, and then you started, went to the
Navy.
Yeah, Navy. So how did it? Okay, they tried to actually. It is hard. It's hard. It's really
very hard. So I left the Navy and I was a little bit lost. I didn't know what I was doing with my life and didn't know where I wanted to go with life. So I started using. I finally said, you know what, F it. Apparently it helps you calm your nerves and regulate your sleep and stuff like that. So I started using marijuana, and they call it a gateway drug for a reason. I did go on to other drugs. There's actually not many drugs I haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
But weed is my drug of choice, and I'm still. I wouldn't say I'm struggling with it anymore because I'm quite a bit. I'm a sustained remission at the moment, but it is definitely. I would definitely take a joint over anything else, as it were. Actually, I was still smoking when I started working for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I did stop while I was working for free, and I found it easier to quit when I was working because moving furniture, you're so puffed out after the end of the day. All you want to do is have a feed, have a shower, and go to sleep. Just go to sleep, and you don't need anything to help you sleep. You just move 3 houses.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier then. I did definitely have a lot harder time post accident, just because I started using again for the pain and the sleep as well, because obviously pretty ruthless nightmares.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I did come out the other end on top, as it were. But it did take a while, and I did need to seek a bit of help.
Can I go back to so you went to the army, then you were lost, so you left. Did you leave because you wanted to leave, or was it more oh no, I'm done here? Did you finish it there, or just did you leave before you actually finish your training?
If I'm being honest, I got kicked out, eh?
Okay, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I got kicked out. I assaulted my commanding officer because I just had enough, eh?
So what's your attitude, yeah?
Yeah, it was definitely my attitude and my anger. It took me a while to sort of admit that I have an anger problem, or a problem with controlling.
There's so many people out there that don't even realise that they're having a problem.
Yeah.
But the thing is, go for help. This is the thing. There is
Exactly.
help out there.
Well, I always used to have the attitude of, I don't have an anger problem, people have a problem with my anger.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that, that's just, that's not how you're supposed to look at it, like if you got an anger problem or you think people have a problem with your anger, you probably have an anger problem and you need to seek help with it. And, it's really hard to do. It's really hard to bite the bullet and, admit that, maybe I'm too proud to seek help, or for whatever reason you don't want to feel embarrassed or just for whatever reason. I don't know, for me I was too embarrassed to ask for help. I figured I've done it for this way for all my life, so I'm just going to keep doing it this way, because if it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it worked for me, it helped me.
It worked.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where I was trying to settle down and have a family, and that anger problem really got in the way of it. Mm-hmm. So like I said, I started using marijuana to sort of calm myself down, and I think the term self-medicate, and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then it just turned in from a self-medicating thing to a habitual thing, and then before I knew it, I was hooked. Yeah.
It's like you're actually escaping from your reality.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, escaping from my own reality. You know, I wasn't happy with who I was or where I was at in my life, so I used drugs to remove myself from that reality and create my own.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's just like, I guess it's a certain time where you're high, and then once it's not working anymore, so
You use more.
the idea is more to actually to stay on this level, so you don't actually go back to reality. You're just like
Exactly.
in a,
You know, and you'll start off, maybe you'll have 1 cone and then you're good for 6 hours, and then it's going to take 3 cones to stay good for 6 hours. Then before you know it, you're using a 50 bag to stay good for 6
oh my
hours.
goodness. So you actually increase,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
because,
you're
you
so
know,
hooked, and then you're
Yeah, it's
lost.
just, you know, it's like it's climbing a mountain, and then it takes more for you to get up to the top of the mountain
Yeah.
to get a good view, but it just ends up costing you more money, relationships. You end up, if you don't have the money, you end up stealing and doing all sorts of stupid stuff to feed your habit.
But the thing is, like you say, like you're actually on this high all the time, so you need the money to support it. So you're in this high, so you do things like you go and steal, you burgle somewhere or something just to get money. So
Or
you
in my
can
case,
find,
I grew it.
You know,
I grew it so that I didn't have to, you know, I grew it and then sold it, and then always had money to get some, never had to worry about it, you know. So
But this is then people end up in prison.
that's how people end up in prison.
And like in New Zealand, it's really, you know, your punishment is just crazy.
Yeah, and you know, like, especially, I don't know the exact percentages, but a lot of people in jail are in jail because of drugs.
Yeah.
They might have robbed a shop, but why were they robbing the shop? To pay for the drug habit.
To pay for the drug habits.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, I can't speak exact figures or for everyone in jail, but you know, I went to jail for a drug-induced rage, and you know, I shot myself in the foot in that respect because, you know, I had to come off it hard.
Yeah. So was this one actually a wake-up call for you? And you can say, you know what?
Massive.
Thank you, universe. You caught me. I'm in here now. This is my second chance. Otherwise, I would still do the same out there.
Oh yeah, you know, I left jail and I didn't go back to the same old lifestyle. You know, I haven't grown weed for over 7 years, and even then I haven't gone back to illegal stuff to pay for my habit. I mean, I did go back to using, but I was at a place where, I felt that it was acceptable to be at the time because I wasn't doing anything wrong to feed my habit. I was working. I was getting money honestly. Not honestly all the time, but you know,
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was I was quite lucky in the fact that after I got out of jail, your husband gave me a chance, and that was my first honest job apart from the Navy that I'd had in a long time.
But you know, he saw something in you, and I saw something in you too.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to give you a chance.
Yeah, and you know, I took that chance.
Yeah, you
and
did.
ran with it. You
Yeah.
know, I really did. I didn't want to let Fred down. I didn't want to let you down. And it wasn't until we were joking around down at World's End one time while we were having a couple of beers after work, I said, I'm going to buy the business off of you. And he said,
Yes.
He turned around and he said, well, if you stop smoking weed, because I know you still are, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I went, all right, then I'm going to go home, I'm going to finish what I've got, and then I'm not going to get any more. I'm just going to work harder. And I did. I started working harder. I started working longer hours, and then we fell pregnant. And me and my partner and I fell pregnant, and that's when I really started upping the ante and saying, like, it wasn't just a joke anymore. I'm gonna buy your business, Fred. Like,
So cool,
I'm taking control of my life now.
And he was so excited. He came home. He told me, he said, "Oh, I know, Zach. Oh yes, that is great. He was going to buy the business." He was so excited about it, and like. because we saw something from you straight away from the beginning. You were a hard worker, you were good with the customers, they loved you, and that's what we say. You needed a chance, and you're not always going to say, oh, because he was in jail. It doesn't matter, it's your path, forget it.
Exactly.
Forget it.
It's
Boom. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was quite blessed to have free focus on that, you know, like
yeah.
we used to joke and stuff and you know, say, you know, that's why you went to jail, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But he never made it a focal point of, you know, he never judged me because I had been to jail or because I had made mistakes in my past, you know, and I really, you know, to this day thank him for that.
And I always, when we worked together, remember,
yes.
I asked 3,000 questions.
Yes.
And Fred said, don't be this nosy. He said, no, I'm just interested.
Yeah, I'm just
I remember.
And I'm more than happy to answer the questions because, you know, people need to know.
Yeah, for me, it's like, no idea.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it is fascinating, you know, where you've been, where you're exposed to, and how you got out of it. And there are so many people out there that explain exactly the same.
Yep.
And they don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, and you know, for most of them, they're stuck in such a deep rabbit hole, and they don't know how to get out of it, and they're just going in circles.
Yeah.
And that's where I was. It actually took me. I almost lost my family. I almost just lost myself.
Your girlfriend?
Yeah, my fiancé, yeah. She told me, look, you got 2 options, mate, and you're not gonna like the other one, so you better give that shit up. And I was, alright, well, I'm gonna need help. So I went to community mental health services and I said, look, I've got an addiction problem, I need help.
That is cool. So you really made the decision, said, hey, yeah, it's time for change.
Yeah, and it definitely was too. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
So how long actually did it take you from making the decision and then actually taking action?
Alright, so I made the decision. Funnily enough, the people at Mental Health said, look, it's silly because you use so much, it's silly for you to try go cold turkey at this stage. What we want you to do is go on a reduction plan.
Oh, is this too dangerous to actually go like overnight?
Well, yeah, because you know you go from feeling this way, which is all the way up here, and then all of a sudden you wake up the next morning, you don't have a cone. For me, it was dangerous because for everyone around me, their anger problem came flooding back. And then all of a sudden, you know, my partner's going, "What? You've been sitting here, what are you gonna such an asshole for?" You know, and I'm like, you know, I turn around,
so it goes from
what
one,
you on about, you know, like, I'm just not having any, you know, and then it just wasn't working out for me.
Yeah.
So they said initially do a reduction plan. So the first task was count how many, because I used a bong, I used to smoke what they call cones. So they said, I want you to count your cones, and then after a full day of just being normal and smoking what you want, the next day I want you to reduce it by 2. And then again by 2, and then again
actually
by 2.
this fast?
Yep.
Yeah? Oh
yep.
my goodness.
And then if they said if you can't do that, don't keep reducing, but don't go back up.
Okay, yeah.
So if you start out, say for example, I think I was having close to 50 cones a day, post accident, and I said, alright, so I did 48, and then I did 46, got all the way down to 30, and I thought, oh, you know, I'm not really coping with any less than 30. So I stayed at 30 for about a week, and then I went to my drug and alcohol counsellor, and I said, look, I've only managed to get it down to 30 cones a day, and she went, are you serious? Like, that's a massive cutback. Awesome. Most people cut back 4 cones a day for a month, and then another 2 cones for another month, and you know and she gave credit where it's due. But the most important thing I believe is you have to be honest with yourself and honest with that bit of paper. You have to be accountable, you know, like. And I did make myself accountable, and then I realised like I had all this extra money lying around because I wasn't buying so much weed, you know. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do with this money? Oh, well, I've got a baby now. I'll buy some nappies, I'll buy some formula, or
cute little princess.
buy her
so
some
cute.
clothes, you know. And I'll splurge on her instead of on myself, and it made me feel good to the point where if it makes me feel good providing for others in my family unit, well, I might be able to cut back a little bit more, you know, so I would drop down to 20 in a week. And then when I got down to 20, my drug and alcohol counsellor said, alright, I think you're about ready to go off the detox, mate.
Wow.
And then they explained what the detox process was, and then immediately after the detox process I went off to rehab, all self-referred. And I could leave at any time I wanted to.
Oh really? So there is no, you have to stay there like for 2 months, I think? Oh,
if I chose to leave, I could leave. I wasn't court ordered to be there. They didn't, lock me in my room.
Yeah, I always think that people have to be like,
Oh, some people are.
Some are. Okay.
Some are court ordered to be there.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't be embarrassed about being court ordered to rehab. Like, that's not what you have to be embarrassed about. If anything, feel proud that the judge gave you a chance.
Yeah,
because he could have just been like, right, you got to go to jail, cuz, and then you got to do it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and trust me, jail's a lot harder than rehab.
Yeah.
With rehab they give you so they start you off on diazepam, and well, for me it was diazepam, and then they gave me sort of 4 a day for a few days, and then 3 a day for a couple of days, and then 2 a day for a few days.
For it?
No.
Oh, for free. Oh,
subsidised by the government.
Oh, that's cool. So I know where my tax money goes.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, it's a helpful process, because by the end of my stay in detox, I went out for one of my good mate's son's first birthday, and there were people smoking there, and I didn't take my diazepam because I felt, I don't need it anymore. I've had my break. I don't need it anymore. I'm just going to go smash this rehab program out. So I went out for this day before I went off to rehab, and there was people there smoking, smoking weed, and they said, oh bro, one of the smokers from way back, do you want a token? I turned around and said, nah, bol. Nah, no, I'm not interested. Tell your story walking, mate. Like, thanks for the offer,
and
but
did they accept it, or would they push you?
They did. My mates accepted it.
Yeah.
There was a couple that were like, oh, come on, bro. And I turned around and said, I started getting a little bit angry, and I said, look, if you offer to me again, I'm going to knock your lights out. I didn't say it that politely, but, I did say, like, if you offer it to me again, you're putting my family happiness in danger. And if you can't respect that, well, then I'm not going to respect you. I'm going to give you hiding. Because, in effect, they were trying to take my family away from me. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, good.
And it's just, that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at it in black and white. Otherwise, if there's a grey area, well, then the grey area makes it easier for you to indulge. And if it's easy for you to indulge, then you're not going to get the help you need. You're not going to go as far as you need to or want to go. It's a real hard process. I'm not going to lie. It is very hard.
Yeah, it is now.
Especially if you're on a more addictive substance like meth or acid or ecstasy or even cigarettes. I've given up cigarettes too.
Wow. You smoked for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I did smoke for a while.
Wow, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not all the way there. I'm on the vape at the moment.
Yeah.
But
it saves you also with lots of money.
It saves me heaps of money. It's $20 a week instead of 60.
Oh God.
And even then I can be like, oh, I'm going to ration my vape juice this week because it's the vape juice that costs. It's a one-off payment for a vape if you pay for a good one, and then it's $20 a week. But I can make my vape juice stretch a fortnight if I really want to.
And because I know you're getting married in a year.
Yes.
Wow. So this money.
Oh yeah, going straight towards the wedding. We've actually just paid for our caterers.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah, we paid for our caterers. We're booked in.
Oh.
We just got to pay for our venue now, and look, we're probably going to have the money inside a couple of months.
It must feel you so proud, or?
Oh yeah. Once you've won the battle with yourself, and I do say it like that for a reason. It is a battle against yourself.
Yeah.
You have to fight your own inhibitions.
Not easy.
It's not, because when you look in the mirror, you got to be proud of who you see, and for a long time I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't proud of what I saw when I looked in the mirror, and some people will agree with me. It just gets you further down and makes you want to go use more because, if I'm a piece of shit in my own eyes, I might as well just go be a piece of shit.
You feel useless, no?
You feel useless.
what do I want to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of it. You feel like, okay, you resign yourself, your life.
Exactly. Yeah, and you just give up.
And you give up, no?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the easiest way.
Yeah, I mean, especially for me, because as you know, I don't think I can go back to furniture removal, but that was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
That's right.
Really did. That I focused in so much. Like, that's why I got told I wasn't going to walk for 18 months. 5 weeks later, I was on crutches because I didn't want to let someone else dictate to me, this is what you're going to do. You're never going to work in furniture removal again. Well, actually, I'm so stubborn, and I am. I pretty much told the doctor to go F himself, and I'm going to do everything I can to get myself back on the bandwagon. You know?
That's actually made you, even what happened, it's the worst really you can, wish for.
Yeah.
But it made you even stronger.
Oh yeah.
There was a real wake-up call for you as well.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And we had lots of chats beforehand, but because from the beginning on, I thought, this guy is really smart. Even he doesn't know it. Maybe he knew, but he wouldn't, acknowledge it. Yeah. But I said to Fred, he is such a smart guy, and I actually can see you as a counselor for the youth in colleges. Go to colleges and speak on stage.
Oh yeah.
And share your experience to make a difference in the world.
Well, the people at the rehab facility said, mate, you are definitely counsellor material.
Yeah.
Like, you would be in a fun, because some people who do counselling by the book but haven't been there, they're the worst counsellors you can think of, because they're literally reading off a book of symptoms.
Yeah.
Whereas someone who's, me and my mates say QBE, qualified by experience.
Yeah. But it is how it is.
100%.
You know what you're talking about it. You know what the other one's going through.
Yeah.
You can give the right advice and tips. I could not do this. And I wouldn't do it because I have no idea what they go through.
Yeah.
So you are the perfect person.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something for nothing. The worst thing is the cold sweats, because if you're trying to give up weed, it comes out your pores, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to have a go shower because you smell like weed, and you just think, that's the yuckest smell ever, I gotta go have a shower,
Really?
Oh, it's so horrendous, it's so bad. Even to this day, I passed the drug test for the first time in a long time.
Cool.
But even then, my partner wakes me up in the middle of the night and go, have a shower, baby. you reek of weed,
Yeah.
And even she questions me, did you go and have any weed? And, obviously I can take the test back to her and be like, haha, no, I didn't. I passed the drug test.
I think you would not be this stupid. You're too smart to do it again.
Oh, well,
You're done, and you know what you're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
And your soon-to-be wife, I had text messages with her, long
novels.
Yes, really. So she stick to you. She really,
And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of her. Once I made the decision.
Amazing.
Yeah, once I made the decision, she said, right, if you're actually going to make this decision, I'll stick by you thick and thin.
It was just really actually in the borderline, I know.
Oh, yeah, no, we were very close to breaking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, very close. And, I'd hate to think where I'd be right now if I chose to be stubborn in the wrong way and sort of stick to the path I was on, because I'd be single, I'd be probably living out of my car.
Yeah, you would be back at the same,
I'd be back in the same place I was 5 years ago. And that's not where I want to be. That's not where I want to be.
Wow.
I want to be happy. I want to be, looking 5 years into the future from now, I want to be married. I want my kids to have money in the bank that's accumulating interest for them, so that, when my daughter turns 16,
you want to have your house?
I want to own my own house. Yes, I want to own my own house. I'm not going to buy the house I'm in anymore. We've upgraded. We're going to build our own house.
Cool, awesome. I like this.
Yeah,
this is something new I didn't know.
Yeah.
But there is also something else. Just at the end, can you share with us? You did something while you were inside. Yeah. And I asked you something.
Yeah. So while I was in jail, I started writing a book. Originally, it started out as just a bedtime story for my son. And I thought to myself, oh, well, if it's on top of being a good night story for my son, I could just get all the shit in my head out onto paper.
Yeah.
you know, and all the nastiness and stuff that I've seen and done in my life, it's like a real therapeutic way of getting rid of it, you know. Instead of writing a letter to yourself and burning it, you put it in story form, and all of a sudden you're selling millions. Like, look at J.K. Rowling. She had a dream, started writing down bullet points. 8 years later, she's got a multi-billion-dollar series of books that have been turned into movies, and her family is sitting flush for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you like this idea?
I do. Funnily enough, I'm getting my book published.
No.
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it together.
Do you personally?
Yeah, and book one it's being typed up and published as we speak.
On Thursday we're having a meeting.
Thursday we have a meeting. 6:02, I believe you said the time.
6:01. Oh no, it's 2. Yeah, that's right.
6:02,
Yeah. 6:02.
It was 10:01 today.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. No, but look, you have so many exciting things ahead of you. It's like life is exciting.
Yes.
Life is worth to live.
Well, it's gotten its sense of hope back for me. You know, if you're stuck in a pit of despair and there's nothing to look forward to except your next cone or your next puff or your next fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Your next hit. You know, there's nothing except that to live for.
Yeah.
And you just lose sight of things that are important, like family, like your kids, like your job, like your career, like your future.
Yeah. So what is your message? What is your message? Because lots of people watching this video right now sitting in the same boat, even worse, you know, homeless. What would do you have like one advice or 3 things what helped you to actually overcome this and live the life what you have now?
A few things, yeah. The first thing is probably just believe in yourself, because you are strong enough. People are stronger than they seem to be. Yeah, people are stronger than they think they are. And if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. Don't be too proud to ask for help is probably the second thing.
But there is enough. There is help out there.
There is help out there.
Yeah.
You know, you see it on ads on TV. You see it on ads during YouTube. You know, like, get help. Family violence is not okay, and it's not. I've been down that road. It's an ugly road. It's not something that is nice for those around you or yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, once you get down that road, you just start feeling low, and once you feel low, it's harder to get back up. Another thing is be grateful for your position in life. You could always be worse off. We could live in Rwanda, Uganda, where our health system is infinitely better than theirs. We have access to food. If you're on the dole, don't think to yourself, oh, I'm just a dole bludger. Think, I'm lucky that I have this opportunity to be able to provide for not only myself, but those around me, those that I care for. And ask the people around you, hey, I want help with my weed addiction. I want help with my meth addiction. I want help with my drinking problem. I want to give up the ciggies. I want to, for whatever it is, you know, there is help out there for absolutely everyone. And it's up to you. You can't expect someone else to change you. You have to change yourself.
You have to make a decision now.
Yeah, you have to make that decision, and you're not going to change unless you want to. I am evidence of the fact.
And I think you made the right decision, and I'm excited to see. So we actually decided before we started today. We decided in 1 year's time we're going to do another video.
Yep.
And then you're married. Maybe there's some more kids and running around.
Oh no, I'm getting the snip in November. I've got enough kids. I've got enough kids.
So no more
kids are expensive, more expensive than drugs.
That's right, no more kids. So what we say, you're getting married.
Yes.
Maybe you're having your own house.
Yes.
And we also catch up with the book.
Yes.
Where the book is. So the first book is published already.
Yep.
So 3 things. I think this is amazing.
Infinite possibilities.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh God, what an amazing story. So where are you at the moment? Do you need help? Ask for help. Like Zach just said, it is never too late, but you have to believe in yourself. Start believing in yourself. You can do it. You are worth it. There is life out there. So many struggle out there. So many. Just make the change. Take your first step. Ring today to actually take action
to change your life around. It's definitely worth living. Wow! Oh, honestly, that was amazing. It's absolutely loved it. So this is our challenge. Go and ask for help. And remember, we are on this journey together. Let's start the conversation, share your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel. Enjoy life, live in the moment, and most of all, be unstoppable. You are worth it, and that's all what matters. It was time to talk. It was time to talk. Now they interrupted me. And I see you soon. Bye.